and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me for another day of holiday hoopla here on my channel. In today's video, I have what could potentially be a controversial holiday collection. I am going to be testing out the new Laura Lee Los Angeles Slay Belle collection. So this, if you don't know, Laura Lee is a fairly sizable beauty influencer YouTuber here on the platform, and she got into a little hot water back in August with some not very nice tweets that came up from her past, and they were exposed. And basically, she was canceled by a very large portion of the beauty community. People were literally live streaming her rapidly declining subscriber count. She went off of YouTube for quite a while, but she is now back making videos, and she does have her own brand and actually released this holiday collection. So I just want to put a disclaimer and say out there, if you want to hear my thoughts about Laura Lee and the whole situation that went down, I do have a video about it on my channel. I will link it up above so you can check that out and kind of hear more in depth my kind of thoughts about the situation. But I just want to say, personally, I don't support her behavior. I don't think racism should be tolerated. Obviously, people make mistakes, and hopefully they will learn and grow from those mistakes. The reason I don't really particularly care for Laura Lee is that she doesn't seem to have been particularly remorseful at the time, or even, after. I didn't really watch her very often to begin with. It wasn't one of her, what does she call her fans? Something stupid, like Laura Lee's. I wasn't a Laura Lee, but I had seen her videos occasionally. I had purchased from her brand in the past. So basically what I have tried to do in this review is to separate the person of Laura Lee from the brand of Laura Lee Los Angeles, and actually try to evaluate the makeup based on the merits of the makeup itself. How well does it perform? Is it something that I think I will actually use? Are you getting a good value for your money? Etc. I know a lot of people will disagree with that, and they'll say, nope, I don't want to support her at all. I don't want to support her brand, and that's totally fine. That's a valid response. I test out makeup. I review makeup. It's kind of what I do. So if you don't like that, then that's fine. You don't have to watch this video. But I think people might still be interested in this collection, because I have to say this collection is really pretty. It could make a really nice holiday gift for someone if you have a makeup lover in your life. So that's why I did want to do this review, to kind of give you guys a little bit more information about the collection, since it's no longer being sold in Ulta. It is an online only brand. You can't go and actually play with the eyeshadows, swatch the liquid lipsticks. You can't really get a feel for it. Or if you're kind of been on the fence about whether or not you think you want to pick this up, is it really just a beautiful box and everything in here is kind of garbage? Or, as Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry would say, does style actually equal the substance in this collection, or is it just a really pretty box? So if you want to hear my thoughts on the collection, if you want to see how I got this eyeshadow look, then keep on watching. Alright, let's get started. So I realize I look a bit crazy right now because I did try one of the liquid lipsticks, but I have nothing on my eyes, so I think we need to change that. But let's take a quick look. This is the actual packaging for the collection. It's pretty. It is really, really pretty. It's this beautiful rose gold packaging with this really pretty pink silk bow. You open it up, it says Slay Belle on the front, and then you open it, and oh, there goes the card, oops. And here you get the 3 loose highlighters, the 3 liquid lipsticks, as well as the palette. So, this is very nice. Let's just, for a collection, for a holiday collection, for an indie brand, even for a more mainstream brand, this is very nice packaging. You really feel like you're getting a whole you're getting something special for a gift. So it really is nice. On the back, it has the logo. I mean, it feels nice, it looks nice. Let's go in and put something on these eyes so I don't look quite as crazy as I currently do. So let's zoom in a little bit and start the eyeshadow look. Okay, we're nice and close. So here is the eyeshadow palette. It is a little 6-pan palette. It's actually a pressed pigment palette, just like the other little 6-pan palettes that Laura has in her collection. So this one, looking at it's a little bit tricky for me to be like, okay, what am I going to do? There are only 2 matte shades. This white cream shade and this dark red burgundy shade are the only 2 mattes in the entire palette. So I think I'm going to have to be very careful. It's basically what I think. I'm going to take a little bit of powder. This is my Wowder powder in the medium. And I'm going to pack that under my eyes just so there's no fallout. The last Laura palette that I used was the Party Animal palette, I think, in the BoxyCharm, and there was a ton of fallout. Probably should have done my eyeshadow first before doing the rest of my makeup, but que sera. The powder's in place. I'm ready to go into this eyeshadow. So I'm going to take a kind of fluffy blending brush. This is a Morphe 411. No, I always call it 411. What's the 411? No, this is 441. And I'm going to go into the color Cherry Chocolate, and I'm just going to start placing this color where I want and not blending it in just yet. I'm going to use this to just stamp out the location of my shadow, start to build the shape of the wing. Since we don't really have any transition colors here, we have red, dark red actually, and we have cream. So I'm going to stamp on this red color pretty heavily, and then I think I'm going to blend it out with that bright light cream color. Okay, now that I have the shadow there in the shape that I want, I'm going to very, very carefully start blending. So I'm switching over to a smaller, more detailed pointed brush. This is going to be the Morphe 506, and I'm still going to take Cherry Chocolate, but I'm going to use this just to clean up the edges and make sure the shape is how I want it. And so normally I would not go in with such a dark color right away. I mean, I know some people do, and that's wonderful. I'm a little scared to do that. Okay, that's not terrible. I kind of went a little crazy right in this area, but I am going to take the Bright Lights color, and I'm going to take this on a Morphe M433, and I'm going to just run this over the edge where I put down that Cherry Chocolate shade. Just to clean everything up and make sure it's all nicely blended. All right. There we go, we have that. So now I have to decide what to do. So in the palette we have the remaining 4 shades are all shimmers. We have Wish List, which is like this gold, Festive, which is this pretty pink, Wrapped Up, which is green, and Jolly, which is this like silvery blue. I feel like I want to do either Wish List or Jolly. Which one? I mean, that would be pretty, the red and the gold, or that's different to do the blue. What should I do? I kind of want to do this one just because it's a little more unique and a little different. So I am going to go in with Jolly. I don't know about the shimmers in this palette, but I know when I first got the Cat's Pajamas palette, the shimmers were really not sticking and adhering very well at all. So I am going to go in with a glitter glue just to give it, like, you know, the best possible chance for success. All right, and I have the glitter glue on. I'm just going to go in with Jolly, and I'm going to use my finger and just start tapping this on. I kind of like this just because it is more unique to have this kind of like silvery blue color in a holiday palette. I wouldn't necessarily think of this as a holiday color, but it's pretty. Oh, that's nice. That is a really pretty shade of blue. Take a flat brush. This is my little Anastasia flat brush. I'm going to spritz it with some Fix Plus. And I'm going to go into Jolly just to clean up the edges. Alright, that's actually really pretty. That's actually really nice. I was surprised. I was like, this is going to be like the crazy choice to pick the blue, but I like it. So now I am going to go back into Cherry Chocolate and really try to darken up that outer corner and make sure I blend between the Jolly shade and the red shade. So now this is nice, and I am kind of enjoying this look since it's a little bit different and out of my traditional wheelhouse, but I still feel like I just would love a darker shade, like maybe a really dark brown to really smoke out this red, and so it's not quite just red and then blue and that's it, you know, on the eye. I mean, I suppose you could go into one of the shimmers. Like you could use Wrapped Up possibly, but I don't know. I already put the other shimmer on. So now I am actually going to go with Wrapped Up, but I'm going to smoke it onto the lower lash line. I'm taking this on a flat definer brush. I'm going to go in dry first just to see how this works. And then if I need, I might add a little water. Oh, that's actually not so bad. That's not bad. It's actually going on fine without using any Fix Plus. I am going to go in just a little bit. Quick spritz. And see if this can really just amp up some of that color on the lower lash line. And I'm dragging it a little bit farther down as well. I'm placing it right at my lash line and then pulling it down with the flat side of the brush. That is really metallic. Now I'm going to take a clean pencil brush and start trying to smoke this out a little bit. Okay, a little bit more of Wrapped Up. It's slightly changing colors a little bit when I blend it. It's looking a little more blue, kind of a blue-gray, as opposed to looking totally green as I blend it out. So maybe it actually is going to be okay. You know what, I kind of want to, I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm just a wild and crazy girl. I'm going to stamp this on my upper lash line as well to kind of make it as a shadow liner. Does that work at all? Yeah, it does. That actually works. And this will allow me to connect it to what I have going on in the lower lash line. It's an ever so slight little wing I'm doing with this green shadow. It actually does go on a little bit better when it's wet, especially since I'm trying to work with it as a shadow or as a liner. There we have it. So it's different. This is a very different eye look than I thought I would do, than I started out to do, all that fun stuff. Okay, now I'm going to take another really small brush and I'm just going to hit Wish List, that gold shade, and pop that right on the inner corner. Okay, that's what I got. I'm going to wipe away this powder that I put down. I really didn't have any shadow fallout or anything, which is kind of nice. It was just, I was worried that I would get too carried away with that red shade, which I sort of did, but I pulled it back together. I reined it in. That's not bad. Now, let's just see if I can do that on the other eye. I'm gonna go finish that up and put on some mascara, and I will be right back. Well, I went ahead and I finished up the other eye. I actually think this look turned out really nicely from this palette. To say that I am pleasantly surprised would probably be an understatement. I have tried 3 of the Laura Lee Los Angeles eyeshadow palettes. So Cat's Pajamas, the mattes were fine, the shimmers underperformed. In Nudie Patootie, the shimmers were really nice, especially those 2 kind of like duochrome, more like pressed glitter shades. There was Jaybird and then the other one that was like gold. Those are really good. The mattes were a little lackluster and kind of were, I felt for me, lacking a little bit of pigment. And then there was the disaster that was the Party Animal palette. And where it was just too pigmented that it was not working out so well, that Party Animal palette. So this was actually kind of a nice surprise. I think this was sort of the best of all of those other eyeshadow palettes, in that I felt like the shimmers actually really performed nicely. Like this Jolly color was really, really nice, packing that all over the lid. Obviously, I have not worn this for a very long time. I literally just finished my eyeshadow look now. I will update you guys and like put it down in the description box, or you know, in a pinned comment down below if there's any kind of problems with the lasting power. But I do have to say that this did go on really nicely. It felt very creamy, and the pigmentation was there, and it was really beautiful. Also, using this Wrapped Up shade, this green one here, as a liner on the lower lash line, as well as like kind of making like a little bit of like a wing with the shadow, actually worked really well. Like wetting my brush and going into this made it very creamy, and it went on very nicely. So I was pleasantly surprised with these 2 guys, and actually this red shade, I really didn't have any complaints. I was very worried going in with just such a dark color as like the only real matte shade, because this is just, it's nice, and it's nice to have a cream to kind of blend out the edges because this is such a dark shade, but it doesn't really do much on my skin tone. It really is not going to show up. So that's the only kind of downside that I have about this palette, is that I really would have loved to see maybe one more matte shade, a matte brown or something, or maybe just a few more shades. I know the 6-pan eyeshadow palette is like her signature. This very much reminds me of the Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette, the bronze, I think Temptation? Whatever her new eyeshadow palette was for the holidays, she came out with 3, and it very much reminds me that she has like a red, and there's like a green, and there's like a gold, but hers also has like a brown, and I just feel like this was kind of missing that brown. Like do a hot chocolate color. You have cherry chocolate, why don't you do like a hot chocolate? You know, that would have been really helpful. Instead of this pink, I don't really think this pink was necessary, because when you actually look at the highlighters, the loose highlighters that come in this collection, there is a pink shade that's fairly similar to this. And so if you wanted a pink shimmery look to combine with any of these, you could have used the powder highlighter instead of putting it in the pan. And I think a brown, like a mid-tone brown shade, would have been really helpful to kind of add to the versatility of this look. But overall, I think I have to say I was really pleasantly surprised with these eyeshadows. This might be the best little eyeshadow palette that Laura Lee Los Angeles has come out with so far. Yes. So anyways, that is that. I think it's time to move on and put some shimmer on my face. I have been without highlighter for long enough. So here are the 3 loose highlighters that come in this collection. We have the shade Sweet and Saucy, which is a lightweight and gorgeous silky formula in a gorgeous pink rose shimmer. We have Warm and Toasty, which is a warm and bronzy gold shade. And then finally we have Sugar and Spice, which is a beautiful golden honey. So these are nice packaging, I have to say. It's like a frosted container, which is pretty, and then it's the pink lid with the rose gold logo on the top. And then when you open them up, you have the actual like little sifter, and then it has one of these like closing bits, which I really appreciate. Whenever you have any kind of loose highlighter, I feel like it needs to have this kind of locking lid, otherwise they just go everywhere and make a mess. So this one actually is very nice that it does have that locking lid. With the 3 shades, I think I'm going to try to do maybe one on this cheek, one on this cheek, and then the other I want to use to highlight under my brow bone. I feel like the light gold shade, which is called Sugar and Spice, pretty standard. I feel like it's a pretty standard shade. So I'm gonna go into that one first. So it comes out, not a ton comes out. It feels like it's kind of a chunky formula, or sort of. It doesn't really come out too much. There we go. There we go. So I got a little bit in the lid. I'm going to go in with a very, very little eyeshadow brush. And I'm just gonna pick this up and see how this goes. Putting this on underneath my brow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Wow, that went on really intense. Oh, but it's pretty, and it blends out really easily though. Like I was like, oh, that was a lot, but it's not. It's actually not so bad. It's kind of really nice. Okay. I mean, look at that. When you first put it on, you're like, oh, what have I done? But it actually shears out. And I keep blending it, I hope. How do you highlight? I hope. Who do you love? I hope. You know you're a real OG musical theater fan if you know where that's from. It'll be like, if you know, put it in the comments. Where is that from? What musical is Who Do You Love? I hope. Who do you love? I hope. Who do you kiss? I hope. Who is it going to be? I hope it's me. It's a cute song. It's from the Bee Love Story. Theater term coming at you. I can be Lin-Manuel Miranda and teach you some theater terms too. All right, so that is on, and that is beautiful. Wow. I'm going to take Sweet and Saucy. Saucy. You know, I've been watching a lot of Great British Baking Show. Saucy. Let's have a saucy pud. Self-saucing. Okay. Let's tap a little. It doesn't come out. That's the only kind of flaw I'm really seeing with this packaging. I'm not really upset by that, just because when you have a loose highlighter, it's so easy for them to go everywhere and make such a mess. So having it be a little bit more difficult to actually get out of the container means that you just have less to make a mess with. So that's kind of nice. So let me go in. This is the pinker of the two shades. Oh, wow. Do we see that? I don't notice it being like super pink on my skin. It's a really nice glow. I'm probably putting too much on. I always do. Because with the lighting, I just can never tell. And then I go back to edit and I'm like, honey bunches, why? Why? You need to cool it with the highlighter, but I never do. That is pretty. It's, I don't want to say subtle, but it is soft. It's a very soft highlighter. It's not, it blends out, because sometimes, again, with powder highlights, you can go on and it's like a streak, and it's a little bit difficult to like blend it out and make it actually look nice, but this just kind of melted into the skin and is really just kind of like its beautiful glowy look. Huh. Warm and Toasty is the last one. So this is the kind of golden bronze shade. I think this is going to be really beautiful. I'm expecting a lot now. Oh, oops. So you can get a lot in the lid if you're not careful, which I was not. I was getting carried away. Too excited. That is like a beautiful, beautiful golden bronze. I mean, hello, that's gorgeous. Wow, okay. I went way too overboard, as usual. You know, at this point, we really should expect no less from me. And, well, it's possible that you can just see it a little bit more because I went heavy. I did. I went overboard with the highlighter. But this shade, because it is darker, I'm getting a little bit of just a little cast in that you can see it when I'm looking straight on. I don't want to say that like certain highlighters cannot be used by anyone. Like you can't really, but I don't want to say that like, oh, if you're super light, you want to like stay away from this really dark golden bronze highlighter. I think you just want to be very careful and go on with a very light hand. Especially this would kind of give like a little bit of a summer tan glow in the middle of winter. So this would be really pretty, you know, kind of all over it. If you have a holiday party, like put a little this on your shoulders, on your décolleté. If someone were to do that, I'm always cold, so I have my scarf and my cardigan constantly. But if you were going to a holiday party, this would be really beautiful, just like all over. All right, let me close this up so I don't like knock them on the floor and have highlighter go everywhere, because that would be a real possibility of happening for me. Okay, so overall, what do I think about these three highlighters? Stunning. Stunning. They're beautiful. They're a really, really nice formula. I mean, these are some of the best powder highlights that I think I have tried. I definitely like them more than the new Becca one that I just recently tried. I love Artist Couture's loose highlights. Like those are very, very, very good, and they're very blingy. But like I said before, it's easy to get out of control with a loose highlighter. These, I feel like, go on a lot. They're a lot more forgiving because they do kind of blend out a little bit better. These are actually very good. These are actually very, very good highlighters. Yeah, who would have thought? Not me. Not me. But I can't lie. The makeup has to speak for itself, and these are quite good. So now we have the last three items in this collection. These are the three liquid lipsticks, and these three liquid lipsticks are actually the items that initially got me interested in trying out this collection. Well, one, the packaging, but then there was these liquid lipsticks, and I have to say, I do like the Laura Lee Los Angeles lipstick formula. I do. I actually, like right here on my table, I have one of the liquid lipsticks. This is the color Topless that I wear. And, you know, so this is like right here on my table within easy reach. And so I do know that I like the liquid lipstick formula. And the formula, it is not too thick and it's not too thin. So it's very easy to glide on. I do like the shape of the applicator. It's just pointy enough so you can actually kind of line your lips first. It goes on really nicely, full opacity, kind of with one swipe. And I have to say, these liquid lipsticks are probably some of the most comfortable liquid lipstick I have ever worn. The makeup has to speak for itself, and these are a good formula. They are. They really are a good formula, you know? I don't know. A lot of times with liquid lipsticks, the reason I tend to stay away from liquid lipsticks is just because they are so drying. And I have somewhat dry lips anyways, and so then to put on a liquid lipstick that dries down matte, it just is not comfortable after a few hours. And then other times, you know, you get that like kind of separating or like that gunkiness. Oh, I hate that feeling. And you have to like, oh, when you eat, and then there's just, there's just trouble. Liquid lipsticks are sometimes almost more trouble than they're really worth, you know? When I put the Laura Lee Los Angeles liquid lipstick formula on, it really feels kind of like I'm wearing nothing. I mean, yes, I can tell that I'm wearing a liquid lipstick. You know, it still feels, it dries down matte. It's not so overly drying that it feels uncomfortable on my lips, and after a few hours, I just feel like I need to take it off. So, okay, let's go ahead and just talk about these three liquid lipsticks. I've been raving about their qualities, and so far I have found that the formula in the new collection is the same as the formula in the original collection. So first of all, what I have on my lips right now is actually the color Pouty and Nice. This color is described as being a beautiful Pink Nude Matte shade. The next color we have is this guy here. This is called Christmas, and it is described as a beautiful wild berry matte shade. And then the last shade is this color Rose Icing. So this is a beautiful rosy pink shimmer. This shade was really interesting because it's the first metallic liquid lipstick, and I was a little bit skeptical about it, but it actually does apply really, really nicely. I personally am not a huge fan of metallic lipsticks, but I think this is actually a very pretty shade. I may just totally ruin everything, but I'm kind of interested to see what it would be like on top of one of the other guys. Oh, that's pretty. It adds just a little bit of a sheen to the other lipstick that I have on, but it kind of tones down the overall like in your face metallicness of this guy on its own. Although it does now I can kind of feel it on my lips, like the lipstick a little bit more. So again, when you start adding layers, and yeah, it feels a little funny, but that's okay. So that is the entire Slay Belle collection. I'm surprised. I have no words. Let's just break it down. Okay, lipsticks are a yes. If you're going to pick up just maybe a couple things from the collection, I would definitely recommend picking these guys up. I personally think the two mattes are going to be a lot more wearable for every day. I think you could get a lot of use out of these two if you're just going to pick these up individually. So these are a definite yes. The loose highlighters are a yes. I think all three of them are really, really gorgeous. So it kind of just depends on which shade you most like. But if you wanted to pick up, I know they do sell them all three in a bundle, or you can buy each of them individually, or you can buy obviously the whole set like I did. Finally, the eyeshadow palette. So this little Slay Belle 6-pan eyeshadow palette, I have to say this might be the best palette that I have tried from Laura Lee Los Angeles. Like I said, I've not tried the other 6-pan eyeshadow palette that's more of the nudes and the browns. I've not tried that palette, but of all the palettes that I have tried, this might actually be the best. I'm reserving a little bit. I'm saying that hesitantly. This might be the best palette I've tried, but I don't know if this would be a favorite palette of mine just because of the versatility. You're just I feel like a little limited on the eyeshadow looks that you're going to be able to do with this. So that is it. That is my 2 cents worth on the entire Laura Lee Los Angeles Slay Belle collection. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you're not subscribed, now is the time. You should subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every single time that I upload a new video. I'm going to be here the entire month of December trying out new makeup releases, new holiday makeup. We're going to be doing some tutorials and lots of fun things. We even have some giveaways coming up very soon, so you want to know every time that I post a video, so ring that bell. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.